in the top position, representing Blue Terran and Good Game Gaming. Give it up for Dream. And his opponent for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Looking at this guy down here, he is ZEST. So for all you live viewers, make sure you do get your predictions in the chat so that you can see. Maybe you can earn a couple of channel points here. I don't really know. I've seen them around, but I still don't know what a channel point is for, other than kind of fun little things that you can add. But I digress on that point, as we do see the first probe just doing its little bit of being a nuisance. Going to be blocking that secondary CC for just a little bit of time before that Reaper comes on out. Now, one thing to note for Dream, he is going to be playing it a little bit more safe on the scouting game here. Going to be getting that first Reaper on the way. That will be able to get him a little bit of scouting information. And the last time he actually played versus ZEST, this is hilarious. Well, not if you're a ZEST fan, but this is pretty funny for me because I play Terran. He got 3 probe kills with his first Reaper. So we'll have to see if he can kind of continue that on. It looks like right now he's just kind of playing it a little bit safe and looking for any sort of proxy. This is one of those maps where you do sometimes see that proxy Stargate come on in, and actually he's just gonna bring it home. Interesting. Now ZEST, obviously, I kind of expected this. He's going to be going for Stargate. His Oracle control is very good. I'd say it's top 1 KR for all of that. You know, him, Trap, and to heck with it. Even Zaun kind of holding down the Protoss race, even though they've been struggling in the last year. ZEST being the innovator, Trap being the motivator, and Zaun being the up-and-comer, showing that you could do it no matter where you are. So I think, we did have the period of the 4 Horsemen of Terran. I think those 3 are the trifecta of Protoss. Reality, 25k on ZEST. Okay. We'll see. Oh no, ZEST a little bit of a trouble right there. Gets a little bit of false flags. Gonna waste a lot of energy. Only gonna get 2 worker kills. Also playing with fire close to the Widow Mines there, hidden in the main base. We do see the Phoenix gonna be coming out off the back of this as well. That's gonna help deal with the medevac. Which actually, yeah, he just cancels that as soon as he saw Stargate. So from here, Dream, he wanted to get that first Widow Mine drop off. That's kind of the most annoying thing that you can do as a Terran player. It's very difficult to kind of keep your attention everywhere as ZEST. But, now he can kind of just power up, get those additional racks. His third base almost complete. He'll just float that out as soon as possible. It's the Phoenix, though, that I'm a little bit scared for him as, they will be able to kind of dive in there, get a couple of SCV kills, and really just force those Marines to stay at home. Kind of just slowing down Dream in that kind of instance. You really don't want him coming across the map when you're going Phoenix. don't know if Dream's necessarily underdog. I would call these guys very equally matched. If I was to say so myself. But yeah, we do see ZEST actually going to be doing something that I've seen him do before, where he skips the Robo facility and just goes straight up for Charge Lot Archon off the back of the Phoenix, which allows him to really take advantage of the fact that Dream is going to be very Marine heavy to try and deal with the Phoenix. Yeah, honestly, it's going to work for him right now. The betting works by you get pretty much every single bet that the losing team loses. It goes to every single player who voted. Like, now I'm kind of hoping Dream wins so that everybody starts to lose their money. The Oracle going down, though, in this fight very early on. There's just not enough Marines, but he will be able to force this back. The Viking helping out quite a bit there, as we do see the armory is a little bit later, meaning Dream is not going to be going up to +2 anytime soon. A Widowmine shot actually going to get a huge connection right there. Any of the Phoenix go down? No, not yet. That's pretty cool, actually. ZEST knows how much damage he can kind of take on those Phoenix and be okay. So just kind of rotating those around. As we see both of these players kind of just equal, all things considered. Army size, okay. Little bit in ZEST's favor, but you can kind of see the mules have dropped. And, you know, he's getting ghosts. It is a bit a newish. It came down with Shopify TSL 6. It's basically called, I believe, the Observer interface or something. And it just works with WCF's GameHeart and pretty much any of the overlays. So if you guys want to check stuff out for live events, make your games with it because it really is pretty cool. Coming on back to the game, you know, ZEST has established his 4th base, getting the Robo facility, so he can either go up to Disruptors or Colossus for just that additional AoE or splash. Still doesn't have... Okay, he does have Storm. Great. 6 High Templars as well, so that's going to be pretty good. Most of his army coming up here is just in the Stalkers and the Zealots, so that's going to be a difficult location for him to break. And sending that hallucinated Phoenix forward is very good, because that allows him to see that he's not going to be able to break that position very easily. Although right now he is going to try. Oh no, here we go. Storms dropping over this, blanketing the SCVs. 6 will go down. A couple of Marines to follow. And he does get out of there with both of the High Templar. So beautiful drop right there. Just trying to keep Dream from ever moving across the map. Now, you know, the funny thing is, I feel like if Dream was to engage right now, he would actually win. Just because the army is so segmented from ZEST. It's very divided between the Stalkers and Zealots in the front, and just his High Templars scattered around the map to deal with drops that really haven't come down. But as time goes on, however, ZEST will kind of try and pull ahead. He's got so many Disruptors, so many Storms, that if he pulls his army together, there's just... It's micro, pardon my French, hell for the Terran. Now ZEST did pull away quite a bit of Dream's army right here, so he's going to try and engage Disruptor, getting a ton of Widow Mines, just opening up that position here. But the Phoenix count has been decimated, and by decimated, I mean it's gone. You know, it went out of business, although he is going to be remaking quite a few air units here as he's piling on the carriers. Here we go, the first huge engagement going to be coming on in. ZEST going to disengage with the Disruptor. But you know what, Dream feels pretty confident right here. A little bit of overconfidence as instead he's just going to be attacking over here. One Storm going to force this back. Good feedback, going to clean up some of the only healing with this army. There's not that many medevacs over here. Zealots, not really enough to deal with this either, as this Nexus is going to fall. It looks like the Zealots are going to go for a reach around. Just going to go for a bit of a counterattack, but I don't know about that, as there is a wall. The siege tank in the back is going to allow the reinforcements to get there in time. But Dream, oh my goodness, he's actually in the natural right now, depowering everything. The Zealot's also going to be cleaned up right here as, oh my goodness, all the tech structures starting to fall. Just getting rid of the robo facilities, so no more disruptors, although he's going to be pretty sad when he sees the carriers coming out. But you know what? Carriers are pretty slow right there, as I accidentally turned down my own volume. That is an overstimmed army, and the carrier is actually starting to go down. Oh man, Dream. I feel like he had a really good engagement over here, but he's just completely overstimmed with not enough healing. The medevacs expending quite a bit of energy. He needs to regain that, taking a huge connection right there. It's actually in ZEST's favor in terms of that supply. Never mind, Dream just goes ahead right now. Excuse me. Okay, so Dream got a lot of damage done. Unfortunately, his attack on the bottom right didn't really get anything. It kind of cleaned up the army, didn't get a kill on the base. So, you know, that was kind of a little bit of a falter here. We got a ton of Vikings, which I don't necessarily think is the best choice overall. And the reason I say that is because that's a lot of focus fire that you got to do. Couple that with the EMPs you got to throw down, the Liberators you got to set up to deal with the Disruptors on the ground. And this is going to be a little bit tough for him to control everything perfectly, but perfectly it will have to be. As that's going to be feeling kind of confident to move in here. Nice and slow, a little bit of a counterattack. There should be enough to clean this up, but he will just snipe down the Warp Prism. Maybe not enough? Okay. Terran Bio actually a lot better than I give it credit for. Once again, ZEST finding an opening, getting between the two bases. Beautiful EMP. Just no real follow-up to it here, as the interceptor count very, very high, and the Disruptors just doing a really good job of keeping the Marines out from underneath this. The Zealots as well going to be going for it very far forward. Gets a kill on that CC. It never got a chance to become a base. Funny little blink from the Stalkers right there, like, I want to help. Then proceeds to not help. But you know, the Vikings actually not being focused down just yet. There you go. Now they are. And looks like he's not actually focus firing down the carriers. So, not the best engagement for Dream overall, but I think ZEST might overextend here just a little bit. And there you go, the recall, very important right there. Yeah, very important for ZEST to kind of get out of there. Otherwise, I think he might have faltered a little bit too much. The bank, as well, as you pointed out there, saving him quite a bit. Now it kind of comes down to this bit of a stalemate, where Dream is kind of just be rotating around, getting these little bits of drop damage in where he can. Looks like the EMP is going to be blanketing this. Once again, those Archons very shallow on their shields now, but one good storm will force the pickup. Now, carriers, great. They're very slow, however, so if you can kind of pull your opponent around, make sure that they're not as useful, that's how you're going to get this done. And I think Dream really can build the army for it, but just kind of take a look at his production. It's not there. He's only making 2 Vikings, a couple of additional medevacs to make sure he has the heals, getting a couple of good MPs, saving himself from the storms. But he just needs to make sure that he's not focusing entirely on the carriers up top and making sure he has enough for the army at the bottom. Or on the ground, rather. Once again, gonna need to get deflected. The Widow Mines, though, kills off a disruptor for its trouble. None of these players actually getting the build up of bank. As soon as they build up one, it is gone just like that. The carrier's gonna get deflected by the storms, but now he is out of storm energy, so it's down to the disruptors to keep this back. And unfortunately, he doesn't have too many shots left. So he will retreat from that position. A little bit of a drop going to be cleaned up here. The Stalkers finally underneath. So 2 of the medevacs will go down, but 12 more SCVs will falter here. It looks like Dream is going to try and pull the trigger with everything he's got. One carrier dropping like a fly, but a huge disruptor shot gonna end any dreams of coming up. No pun intended. It looked pretty good for Dream, so a lot of... Excuse me, I am forgetting my English once again. But it was looking very good for Dream here, but I think ZEST is just slowly starting to pick him apart. It's essentially death by 1,000 cuts at this stage forward. As, yeah, all these SCVs starting to fall. His production is starting to get camped here. And as he loses another base, he's just not really able to replenish his army as well as you might expect. Stalkers in the bottom cleaning up the Vikings. And there you have it, ZEST. Not the cleanest game number 1, but still pretty darn good. All things considered. I feel like that was a game more of mistakes and who made less of them than it necessarily was the better player. And I'm not discouraging either side for that at all. But I'm just saying it kind of felt a little bit like Dream never found his angles, and ZEST played it a little bit less, a little bit more open than he should have. You know, I saw the Evil Geniuses team do that with their cups when they were playing Rainbow Six Siege, because I was on the stage crew, and we told them they couldn't have them on the desk. So they would just pull him up in between games. It was their energy drink. And they would just do it for a photo op for a photographer down there. So ever since then, I've been kind of just imitating that. I thought it was pretty cool. Little way to show off sponsors without being too over the top. Whew. So you know what? We got another one here. Going on to Romanticide for our next map. Spawning down here in the bottom position. Give it up for Good Game Gaming Dream. And his opponent up here in the top position for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is ZEST. Oh man, you guys are going insane with the points right now. I bet that 7K was on ZEST, but I haven't checked just yet, as ZEST is going to check. Just make sure that every single base and every single unit is where it's supposed to be. Because as you guys know, Terrans, they tend to wander about as much as a Protoss does. This is completely live, Melichan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, we have actively kidnapped the players, and they are playing for our amusement, and the winner gets to enjoy the rest of their Valentine's Day in peace, while the loser has to go on a date with Destiny. Not the streamer Destiny. Just like, he has to keep playing. I don't know where I'm going with that. The winner gets a Valentine's Day date. There you go. Reaper gonna be coming on up here. He does get a scout off. Sees that it is that Twilight Council. Though looks like the battle is ready as well in the back. So get your units in there, as we will be going into a battle after this one. Now the second CC is on down. Nothing really too crazy going on, other than you know, this Reaper going to be jumping around. Actually going to get some good information. Like, even though it does go down, he did get perfect scouts off. He sees that the Robo facility is coming on in. Actually, yeah. Did he see the Robo facility? Let me just check. Yeah. Okay, he knows everything. Okay, so there were two options here. It was either Blink or DTs. ZEST is being a naughty boy this Valentine's Day, and he is going to be going for DTs. Looks like Dream did get a couple of Hellions as well. That's kind of interesting here. Even going to get a third. So I kind of like this. We have seen Terran players kind of experiment with this. Earlier on in the year, we saw Byun just go for this very aggressive 4 Hellion run by, which is just so devastating. It was so devastating for his opponents early on. And now players are kind of, and adapting it for their own play style here. Now, the Raven is not on the way just yet, but he will have a couple of missile turrets for this coming on in. Actually, yeah, will that missile turret be done is the big question. He's going to block it with everything he has as the Hellions get dropped as well. First scan, getting one of the DTs. As the Hellions get dropped away and destroyed. Now remember, you do need 3 Hellions to one-shot the probes. So overall, he's not getting the damage that he was essentially looking for. That will have to settle for 4 probes. And oh my goodness, ZEST, you naughty, naughty boy. Double Archons as well as a Zealot warping on in. And Dream doesn't really have a lot to deal with this, actually. Even that auto turret just going down very, very quickly. You can see the splash on the Marines just really getting caked on. Yeah, this is where the damage just starts to really rattle up. As Dream doesn't have stim just yet. He doesn't really have anything to chase down the Warp Prism. The Viking is only about halfway complete, and he still has the Raven, right? Yeah, he's not crazy enough to lose the Raven just yet. But, yeah, Dream really taking the brunt of that. I'd say that's pretty worth it for him. Uh-oh. Looks like the stream froze for a couple of people. It's still looking good on my end. Just dropping some kilobytes. It looks like the Viking will go down. A little bit sloppy there from Dream. So that does mean the Warp Prism is going to be coming on in. It's a cancel right there. My goodness. Dream is just... taking so many hits. I think from here, he kind of understands his situation. So we did see the additional racks going to be coming on down. No third base either. And he's just going to be going for this big dedicated attack to try and close things out before ZEST can really hit critical mass. But if you're going to do that, you really have to hit that window. And that window is closing very, very rapidly. Long neck man, that is completely true. Stream froze because ZEST is putting Dream on ice. And look at that, Seachank actually was getting ready for the assault, but did have to unsiege there. Here we go, Dream. Oh, never mind, there is a third base. I am completely blind tonight, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, just regaining myself here. Dream just playing it more defensive. He does... obviously the window where he could have gone for that big aggressive attack that I kind of talked about is kind of over, as that's going to be going up to his 5th base. You will start to get double upgrades soon as his +1 finishes. So he's not going to fall too far behind in terms of those upgrades either. And look at that triple robo facility with the robo bay. That's 4 robo facilities if you haven't been keeping track. And now, some beautiful drops going down. 8 workers going to fall, but he will lose the Warp Prism and the High Templars, all for that. So not really worth it, all things considered. But you know, let's stop Dream from mining for just a second. If Dream can get these kind of drops off, I think that's exactly what he needs in order to kind of come back in this. He just needs to really pull ZEST home and force the defensive warp-ins. I think that was a Hellbat that just went down. That thing was so low on health. pretty much lost all its medical insurance. Oh, Dream. He's got the surround, and there's actually no storms with this. But Zest's going to find his way out for a couple of zealot kills right there. So now 3 Colossus on the field is really going to be kind of the linchpin in this army. This is still a very heavy Marine army, as we kind of see there's not that many Marauders. Yeah, 38 Marines and 7 Marauders. Versus this, that's really not the point where you want to be. Once you get that kind of... Like, I think the ratio is about 2 tech labs for every reactor you got, but hold that thought as the storm's going to be blanketing this army here, and Dream doesn't really have a lot at home to defend this. I'm wondering where most of his units are. They're up there in the top position, so Zest is really just going to be able to push his way through. Dream trying to make it painful for him, but I think if we get into a base raid situation, Zest can really just recall very, very quickly. And Zest already has the advantage, all things considered. They say never base race a Terran, but I think in this situation, it's okay to, as you've already killed off 34 workers and are cleaning up all of the bases. Dream down below 100 supply. And Zest, even though he's lost all his pylons, he's not really looking to remake any of this. Look at that. He can even just drop down a bunch of cannons. The shield battery overcharge will be a little bit too much for the Marines to get through. Yeah, that was the last CC, I believe. Nope, he has 2 more. And Dream... Okay, yeah, he taps out. I think he was a little bit too cautious. He needs to start dropping. Dream is a player who drops. And he's good at it. And please drop. Please drop, Dream. You need to do it to get back into it. Probably shouldn't have done that. Now I'm ringing in the ears. But, yep, we're going to be going into Lightshade for our next map. Unlike most of our events, our show matches, the players did choose the maps ahead of time, so there is no real way for them to kind of select and work their way back into it with the loser's pick. And we're just waiting for Into the Inu to start the game. He's very good at that. Oh, by the way, let's run a battle while we are waiting. Look at that. We got a little smattering of units down here. We don't really have too much. Let's kill them. You see? Let's see who leads the charge. Sushi, you got that Mystic Archer. You're going to be looking to do some work with that. But look at Zogern. You go, girl. You are heading straight for the backfield here. Sun Sentinel will not be enough. And the Sand Mystic. That's going to clean up a lot of our forces, actually. Wow, a lot of guys actually going down there. We're struggling a little bit, but now Alpha X SC2 is going to be coming in with our banner, and Zogern blasting away in the backfield. That is going to be enough damage, and we are going to clean things up. Good job, guys. We did it. But you know what? everything is going to get a lot harder from now on, so we need all of you to help us in our fight against the tyranny. So check out the link in the chat. Just type in !battle to help join us and keep us rolling. I'm gonna open up this captain's chest, and you know what? You guys are gonna get the lion's share here. Even though I get a bunch, it doesn't even matter. Looks like the bomber. Let's see. You know what, Zogern? Your archer was the one who helped us out the most in that situation. They really held down the fort. So I think you should get that one. Congratulations. And looks like I get a bag of 10 gold. Sorry guys, I don't get to choose that one. Next time, Bibs, so you just gotta pick better units. And I will grant those rewards. Don't know what Into the Inu is going on here, but let's take a look at what we got. We've got scarabs, and we got some more of the Sun Sentinels. Which path should we take? I think we should save this guy for next, so I am going to actually go up top here. That looks like a good smattering of units for us. Let's get that battle in. So check out the battle link. And once again, as always, our champion Asana, or Astrea rather, is going to lead us into battle. So join him. Join the rally. I've seen this game on base trade. So basically what happens is you go to the link and you basically place a unit every 5 minutes. And as your units fight, you level up. And with those level ups, you get some cool rewards and such that you can use, cooler champions. Your heroes get a lot stronger. It's just a bunch of great things. It's pretty self-explanatory if you just follow the link. !battle, as I've said. Oh. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Sushi. And you just join us as the captain. You know what? It's not pay to win. But you know what? We got to get into this next game. So, spawning. Up here in the top position. Give it up. He's down, but he is not out. He is Dream. And his opponent. Up here in the bottom. Give it up for ZEST. Yeah, it is actually a pretty fun little thing to do. Just kind of interact with the streamer as well. Looks like we got all the mods that chipping in their units as well. So why not join us and let's clean up house. And good night, Zogger, and hope you have a good night. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope it's good for you. Hope you get that ZEST date. I'm getting back into the game here. Nothing too crazy. Dream is going to be going for a little bit of a scout. We do see ZEST hiding this probe, but that's not really going to be for a proxy, I'd imagine. Yeah, no worries in the long neck, man. Always a pleasure. I love starting my day out with some StarCraft 2. The Adept does get the Kiss of Death, however, so a little bit sloppy there by Dream. So that is going to leave that first Adept the ability to kind of move up across the map. Get a little bit of information himself, maybe get an SCV kill or two. It's all kind of down to how ZEST is feeling. If he's feeling merciful or not. Yeah, it is going to be Twilight Council, and it looks like the Zest Cannon not feeling so much merciful. Getting a cancel on that bunker as the second Stalker, or the first Stalker, going to be moving across. A little bit of a missed micro there. You know what, I gotta say, I love these guys. They are playing out of their mind good. Except for when they're not. So many small mistakes, they're taking more damage on their units than they necessarily should. And this time though, Zest is going to be going for the much more aggressive blink timing. And it's really going to come down to, will Dream have enough? Right now, he has no siege tanks. He has no splash of any kind. No marauders. No concussive shells. No stim. No idea. This is going to be bad. Pretty bad for him. Especially since his drop does get scouted, and that's a lot of damage that's going to get tanked on that medevac. This is kind of a little bit of an indicator for him. He does have 2 tech labs on the way, so he will be able to go up to the siege tanks. But yeah, this is just unfortunate. He is going to be making the best of a bad situation, though. Going to get 4 worker kills already. Just trying to line him up and knock him down. Okay. He does get 7 workers for his troubles, but he does lose all the Hellions and the medevac. And now Zest. We'll have to see if he is going to be moving across the map with these Stalkers. He did pull them all home to defend. So, actually might not be aggressive with them anymore. He might feel like his opening has expired to make them work. I kind of agree with the chat. Usually, if you could keep the Hellions alive and get them out of there, then I would be perfectly happy with 7 kills. But when it comes down to losing the Hellions and losing the medevac as well, that's where it just doesn't become worth it already. So yeah, Zest is going to find the Raven as well. This is going to be a tilting moment for Dream, just losing that for free. As we do see Zest going to be going up to charge Storm. This does mean that he's going to be sticking with, sticking with Gateway a little bit longer. As we do see that Gateway explosion with 4 more coming on down. And this is going to be pretty hard for Dream to deal with here. But there is hope. I will never count Dream out in this situation. He still has the chance to pull it back, but I mean, there's a window before it becomes a little bit too much for him. And I think the best way to kind of keep that window open would be to get some drops across the map. And there you go, the Terran gods have heard him. And he will be moving on out, just trying to keep this hidden for as long as possible. Oh man, even going to be moving out with the siege tanks here. But we'll get a pickoff on the Stalkers. That is the way you do it. Beautiful little move right there. And that's going to prompt him to move on out. Now that that hit squad is dead, he's going to find an area to kill off his opponent. Now, the last time I saw these two play on this map, Dream actually did this exact same thing, as Zest did this exact same thing, and it went really well for Dream, but the Storm's already doing pretty good work here, saving the High Templar as well, only for that to fall. And now he doesn't really have a lot of army left with this, so I think the reinforcing is going to be enough for Zest. But he's taking a lot of damage to the siege tanks. It's really just a moment of buy time for Zest as he builds up that army once again. He does have charge. he does have Storm building up energy in the back. So he should be fine from this. But a couple of bad siege tank shots and it's all over. As you can see, he also was going to take this low ground position. He actually canceled it once he saw this attack coming in. And the Widowmine's not going to get some shots off. There's not really that much bio, but the spread is pretty darn good. It's pretty much covering 2 screens. Siege tanks going on down. A lot of the Marines not fighting. That was about as bad of an engagement for Dream as he could get, but he still does clean up the backfield. Now he just needs to hold on. SCV's being pulled. Will he barely have enough? I don't know, Kev. Next big warp in might just be a little bit too much. Oh, man. Yeah. Now, ZEST is below 100 supply, but Dream not really doing too much better himself, losing 19 workers. As ZEST already has the 4th base up, he's just pumping units at this point. He really doesn't care about getting more workers. He's topped at 67. Okay, adding on Vikings, probably expecting either the transition to air or Colossus. But Zest's perfectly content with the army that he has right now. Very heavy gateway, storms. Obviously, he's also got the storms hanging on out in that drop. EMP is going to be blanketing the Archons in the back, but the first couple of storms have dropped. Call your meteorologist. Tell him that it is a stormy, stormy day. The Viking trying to get on top of the Warp Prism will actually cancel the Warp in. So Zest is going to be forced back here just with the reinforcements. Oh my goodness, that could have been so bad for Dream. That was pretty much the best case scenario for him. And he still can't really counterattack efficiently here because the reinforce will be great. As time goes on, if Zest doesn't start to transition, if he sticks with what he's going for, he's going to start to get kind of torn apart here. He can't really rely on this for too much longer. But Dream being a little bit too aggressive with small numbers of units, especially in the areas that Zest already has his army set and ready to go. It looks like he's trying to take these engagements. Now, Warpers, I'm going to take some big shots as well, but that's not going to go down just yet. Oh, no, but that will go down. Oh, my goodness. How many Warpers have gone down? He's lost the only 2 that he's made. As once again, he's going to try and engage into here. Zest trying to bait him forward, but the EMP is going to be enough to force this back once again. Not that many storms available at all. So Dream really just going to try and push his luck here. I do feel like he should take a small concave of units and move towards the exposed natural. Because that's the kind of best way to play this map. When you're forcing your opponent up here to the top, you want to hit them where they're not, as it can be a little bit difficult to re-engage. Looks like he is going to be able to kill off the Nexus and pull most of his forces home to defend back here. But the Zealots going to clean up quite a bit, and this 3rd base will go down. That's a kill, not a cancel. Never mind, Dream saves that with only 4 SCVs going down, but that is a very Pyrrhic victory for him right now, because he's just not able to really build up the count that he needs. to defend. EMP is blanketing everything once again. And although he did get 13 workers, he needs to pull all his reinforcements back. I feel like he's really slow to kind of stem his units here. Like, it kind of just feels like he's getting to the engagements a little bit late, and I know he wasn't building it. I know that he couldn't cancel it. But, you know, it's always nice to dream. He could have salvaged it if this was campaign. No, not even then. Beautiful Storm's gonna blanket the ghosts. And unfortunately, Dream's just taking so much damage to those. His supply has plummeted. And you can take a look at that army graph. As ZEST gonna be coming in here. Double the army supply. He's just really being able to force Dream back. The income actually in Dream's favor. He has meals. What am I talking about? You know, don't get too excited here because that's, yeah, he has enough here. He's going to be able to clean up that bottom position. The SCV is not pulled to defend that at all, so that's going to go down. The Storm's blanketing Dream's army, and as 22 more workers go down, Dream does the tap out, and just not his strong